Okay, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Assalamu alaikum once again. Your facilitator Hussain Qadri. Today's agenda for the session that is about to to cover a particular practice question with the topic investment appraisal. The practice question with the topic investment appraisal. The practice question is the past paper question, a very recent March 20 Hathaway. That is about with the CBE practice pattern. That is about CBE practice pattern. We have to work out with the CBE focus. But because this particular question not available on the CBE platform, that's here the platform. This is the platform, you people know that. This is what about the platform. This is what the platform is. And what the question we are attempting right now, it's not available with the platform because it's a March 20 question and March 20 question is not available. AFM, I've already shared you the details with the first video about what the questions, what past paper questions are available, what questions past paper with the CBE format not available. So with the official resource, it's not available, but you can attempt with the blank space. We can work with the blank space. You can work with the blank space accordingly. But what I personally think that you can attempt the question with that blank space or with the Excel sheet. Excel sheet with the limited function, not with the complete function. It's your wish. You can work out with this or Excel sheet. No matter it is. But if you are working for particular exam question available, for example, these questions, for example, AFM, these particular questions, the official questions, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6. I strongly suggest don't work out with the Excel, but in fact, you have to attempt with the exam simulation and with this particular format. But if the question is not available with these particular past papers, you can either attempt with the Excel or the CBE practice form. It's your wish. Okay, come on. What is about the question, sir? This is what the question about. This is the question. Come on. This is a typical investment appraisal question. Investment appraisal question. Definitely the investment appraisal question, the NPV based question, but it's not the caliber of FM, but the caliber of AFM. It's a very good question. Now, come on. The very first thing that is about the requirement. I strongly suggest that you people have to read the requirement first. I'm giving you the 30 seconds. I'm giving you the 30 seconds. Read the requirement. I think so that this screen is very much in larger side, what I think. Now, are you comfortable with this size? I think so. You must have very much comfortable with this. Okay, that's good. That's good. And for Excel, don't worry, I will work out accordingly. One moment. Okay. The very first thing is that, the very first thing is that, this is what about the 25 marks question. But typically, the B requirement, the 8 marks, that's about the pure theory. And the 6, 2, 3, 6. Apparently, you are saying that this is what about the calculation. That's A part is about calculation and B part is the theory. But in reality, the total theory marks, it's not 8, it's more than 8. It's 12 marks. Because in the A part, the first one is evaluate, the number 2 calculate, the number 3 calculate, and number 4 recommend. Recommend with recommendation. With recommendation. So 6 marks includes some recommendation part as well. So almost 11 to 12 marks, it's about 11 to 12 marks, it's about theoretical aspect. So very first thing is that if you people are ready for the right direction, preparation, so you must have to first focus on your mind. The preparation side must be very much balanced. The preparation side must be very much balanced. You people normally too much focus only about the calculation, but here the consent point are very different. The consent point is very different. Okay. So now start working accordingly. First of all, have to read the requirement. The requirement is first, if you are sitting on the examination hall, the very first thing that is to read the requirement. Evaluate the financial acceptability of the project high investment proposal based on chief engineer's forecast, assuming regulatory approval is granted in 1 year's time. Calculate the expected NPV of the proposal based on finance director assumptions about the likelihood of the recession and potential impact on the CAI's cash flows. Okay. Calculate the NPV of the finance director's alternative option for the technology and advise the board whether this is worth pursuing. Recommend whether board should proceed with the application of regulatory approval after taking into consideration Hathaway 70% approval with the application, or sell the concept now to GAPI company. Include the analysis. Any comment, this is important. If examiner mentioned to comment, there's a specific marks for the comment as well. And then explain the rationale for the implementation of capital investment monitoring system and post completion audits. This both topic, it's actually the F9 topic. An examiner examine here. Examine here. So this is very amazing point. The theory about the The theory about related to F9, but examined here. Okay. The capital investment monitoring system and post completion audit, and suggest the way the Hathaway may be benefited. These procedures have been applied to the project Lamba and Kappa. That is the point. That is the point. Now come on. Now come on, class. That's start working accordingly. I hope that all the things are clear. The screen size, the visualization of Hussain Qazi, and the voice, all said. Yes. Can you please reply me once? Jazakumullah sana. Bahut shukriya. Thank you very much. Okay, now it's the question time. Come on. Hathaway operates in the aviation industry. Okay. Manufacturing safety equipment and commercial aircraft. The company has a policy of carefully appraising all investment opportunity, including detailed analysis of the cost and revenue assumptions prior to the approval. Project Khai. Hathaway board is reviewing a potential investment project. Khai. The company's engineers have developed a new technology which can detect the potential of the mechanical failure with a greater degree of accuracy than previously been the case. So this is what about the new technology means new product. Early tests have been extremely encouraging. If the board accepts the engineer's proposal, Hathaway company would need to submit an application to the relevant regulatory authority. What they said, if engineer, once again, if engineer accept the engineer if board accept engineer proposals, Hathaway would need to submit application to the relevant authority. Means you require the permission for the authorities as well. Means in a company, one side an engineers, one side board. But if board approves, then hand over the proposal to the regulatory authority. Okay. It is expected regulatory approval would be granted 1 year time. Regulatory approval will be granted 1 year time. That is the very key point of this question. Means this project cannot be started from now. If we are standing at 1st January 2021, and if the regulatory approval approves the contract, we will take 1 year time. That's a key point. So that means project will start by year 1. Investment will be made at year 1. That's important. Manufacturing and sales would commence immediately after being granted regulatory approval. Manufacturing and sales, which means the regular cash flows would immediately be started. And do remember that with reference to the F9 concept, all regular cash flows must be considered to the relevant year. Means, for example, if the year 2021 is the project start date, so the complete year 2021 will be the sales operations. What I mean to say that, come on. One minute silent, please. Prayers is going on here. Azan is going on here. Allahu Akbar, Allah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. الله أكبر. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah. Okay, listen carefully. If we consider now is 1st January 2021, now, that means that is year 0. But we will start the project. We will start the project after 1 year. Means 1st January 2022, assume that. That means this is year 1. Number 2, the regular cash flows like sales, like variable costs, like fixed costs. These are regular cash flows. Regular means sales will occur over the period. Variable cost, material labor overhead over the period. Fixed cost, monthly rent over the period. But since F9, you have been studying that this is what considered all the regular cash flows will be fall at year end, 31st December 2012, at year end. Regular cash flows year 31st December 2012. So it means if we consider we start the project 1st January 2022, that is year 1, all the regular cash flows will assigned at the end of the 31st December 2022. We will consider that's year 2. And then we will move forward year 3, year 4, year 5, so on. Okay, are you getting the point? Can you please reply me? Is that crystal clear to all of you? Thank you very much. Jazakumullah khair. Okay. Moreover, come on. Moreover. Manufacturing and sales would commence immediately after being granted approval. Hathaway Company Chief Engineers presented an investment case for project including summary of the following costs and revenue forecast assumptions. Okay. Hathaway Company expected to sell 3,000 units, first year of production. with the demand increasing by 5% in each subsequent year for the 4-year life. So here, 4 years life, 3,000 first year, then 5% accordingly. Sales forecast based on the contribution of $5,000 per unit. My God, $5,000 per unit in the first year of production and increasing 2% per year subsequent years. So sales forecast based on contributions. So here the contribution 5,000 per unit. First year. This is first year. Huh? So that means this $5,000 includes the first year inflation and increasing 2% per year subsequently. Annual fixed cost 8.7 million expected in the first year of production. Are expected first year of production, increasing 3% per year throughout the life of the project. That is the point. So fixed cost also first year 8.7 million. That includes the first year matter. First year inflation. And investment in plant, machinery 12 million will be required as soon as regulatory approval has been granted. Tax allowable depreciation available on the plant machinery at an annual cost of 20% straight line basis. That is 12 tax allowable depreciation. Balancing adjustment expected at the end of the project. Balancing adjustment expected at the end of the project, where the machine will be scrapped. Tax payable 20%, same year in which profits are made. Relevant cost of capital 12%. Okay, here the cost of capital is simple. Cost of capital simple available, that's equals to 12%. That's simple 12%. Okay, project high extra information. Here, what do you feel? The question about the complication of the question. Till now, the question is very simple. Huh? It's not very much complex. Okay. The project high extra information. The finance director, however, raised the following objection and consequences to the chief engineer's presentation. The chief engineer's cost and revenue assumptions ignore the possibility of a recession, which has 20% probability of occurring. Once again, finance director has raised following objections to their chief engineer projection. Means finance directors are having a concern. Huh? The chief engineer's cost and revenue assumptions ignore the possibility of the recession. They argued that you don't consider the risk and uncertainty, which has 20% probability of occurring. Hold on. So here the concern point is that whatever the net cash flow you are considering, there is a 20% chance of recession. In recession, total present value of 4 years production likely to be 40% lower. So finance director connect the probability, the recession matter affecting to the recession matter. The finance director also believes that the finance director also believes that there's an alternative. Also, they mentioned some alternative. Mutually exclusive means mutually exclusive any one time, either finance director or the chief engineer proposal. Development opportunity based on the new technology that would still dependent on the granted regulatory approval. So development opportunity based on the new technology still depend on the regulatory approval. This alternative option would incur identical investment 12 million. The investment is same. but generate annual inflation adjusted post cash flows, annual inflation adjusted post tax cash flows 3.43 over the 7 years life of years 2 onwards. Why 2 onwards? Why 2 onwards? Can you please reply me? Why 2 onwards? Why it's about 2 onwards? Why it's about 2 onwards? Because here alternative of the finance director proposal, it's will also start after the approval of the regulatory authority, and regulatory authority required 1 year time. That is the point. Moreover, the investment case assume regulatory approval is certain, where historically only 70% of Hathaway operations applications have been approved. Here mentioned that regulatory approval having only 70% chance for the approval. In 1 year's time, if regulatory applications not approved, if regulatory application not approved, it is assumed that concept can be sold to 1 million at that time. If regulatory application not approved, it is assumed that concept can be sold to the GAPI company 1 million. If the board rejects the proposal now, assume concept can be sold 4.3 million. If project rejects the proposal now, assume concept can be sold for 4.3 million. So actually, there are initially 2 possibilities. Number 1, if the engineer proposal accepted by the board or rejected by the board. Further complication if accepted by the board. And if board rejects, it's not about the chances. If board rejects, we can sell the proposal right now. That's 4.3 million. So this is what initial, I am reading that particular question in a way that if you are initially reading the question, you will not get all the things with the one go. It's a matter. Okay. Then at a board meeting, discuss 2 recent investment. Recent board meeting discussed 2 recent investment. Project Lambda and Kappa. Both involve the construction of new manufacturing plants of the safety equipment. Both projects are now operational through Project Lambda experience significant time delays and the cost overruns, while Project Kappa was under budget and well scheduled. One closer examination, the director noticed that Project Lambda revenue far exceed initial expectation, whereas the Project Kappa's revenue was much less than original expected. On balance, Hathaway Chief Executive Officer suggested each project's successes compensated their respective failings, and this was the expected when the making predictions about the future in the investment plan. However, one of the directors suggested the company could benefit from the introduction of capital investment monitoring system and post-completion audits. Director agreed to discuss this in greater depth at the next board meetings. This complete paragraph, that's all. That's all related to part B. That's all related to part B. That's about part B. Explain the rationale of implementation, capital investment monitoring system, and post-completion audits. Suggest the way Hathaway company may be benefit if these procedures have been applied to Project Lambda and Kappa. So whatever related to Lambda and Kappa, whatever related to lambda and kappa, that is about the last paragraph. So if you are sitting in the examination hall, I strongly suggest that you must have to start reading the question with requirement. Then read the question first. That is the first thing. Okay, hold it now. What you people are saying that, sir, you have to explain the thing accordingly. Don't worry. I'm going to attempt that question. And then I will explain all the things in a very precise manner. Here I have just read the question once. Once you read that particular question, then I strongly suggest read one more time the requirement. Number one, evaluate financial acceptability of project high investment proposal based on chief engineer's forecast. So first, a very simple, evaluate the chief engineer forecast. That's all. Ignore the complications. Whenever you are sitting in the examination hall, you have to plan yourself. And during the plan, you have to identify what are the easiest marks and what are the difficult parts. So how to handle the difficult part, I will discuss later. But initially, relax and handle the easiest part. So first requirement is the easy one. Just get the information of chief engineers, forecast revenues, and attempt the question. Whatever the extra information having complications, and that's affect to the second, third, fourth part. But first park easy marks. Park easy marks. Attempt easy marks and park it on one side. Yes. Number two requirement. Calculate the expected NPV of the proposed based on finance director assumptions. Based on finance director. Now here about the finance director. What finance director says? Here another mutually exclusive project. Ignore having some critic to chief engineers and consider my proposal. Finance director. Assumptions about likelihood of the recession and potential impact on the CAIS project. That's 2 marks. Calculate the NPV of finance director, alternative option of the technology, and advise the board. What is the difference between second and third? With the second requirement, examiner asking that incorporate the critic of finance director to the CAIS project. Means incorporate the likelihood of the recession. But what the third requirement? The third requirement is that calculate the NPV of finance director alternative option and advise whether this is worth pursuing. What I personally think, 6, then 3, it's an easy marks. Some tricks, 2 marks. Yes, hard aspect is 4th one. Where just if you are sitting in the examination hall, some of the requirement is hard. Initially, just read it once and focus on the easy marks of the question. So 6, 2, 3. Put your best efforts for 11 marks. 11, almost 45% of 40 to 45% of the question. 45%. Out of 25, 11 marks, it's almost 45, 47%. So first park your easy 40, 45%. Okay, 4th, whether board should proceed with the application of regulatory approval after taking into consideration Hathaway's 70% approval with regulatory approval or sell the concept to the new GAP. Include your analysis, comment on finding. Don't worry anyone. First attempt the easy marks. Are you getting the point? Whoever asking that, sir, what is the meaning of this, don't worry. First, we will focus this part. We will focus this part. Yes, this focus area. And attempt the question accordingly. So candidates, right now I have to take a 15 minutes break for the namaz, for the prayers. In the Pakistan, the prayers time is here. So I have to perform my prayers for the 15 minutes. After that, we can attempt it accordingly. Do you have any question till now? A part of the extra information. Can you please reply me quickly? Okay, thank you. I'm taking the break of the 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, we will back. Okay, thank you. Okay, come on. So first of all, based on A1, we have to calculate the NPV, investment appraisal of the NPV, exclusive for the engineer's proposal, ignoring finance director criticism. Come on. It's up to you either to work out with CBE format, I mean CBE blank space or here. Okay, I'm working with the Hathaway. I will share this, don't worry. Part A1. Okay, so part A1, that's called, we have to working accordingly. NPV. And we have to work out with the millions. It depends on you. If you wanted to work out with 1,000, it's all depends on you. Okay. Okay, class. So how much the time period? Oh, sorry. How much the time period of the project? Do let me know. The session must be very much interactive. I personally suggest that. The time period, that is 4 years. Okay, that is 4 years, but we have to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reason is that it's not about the tax matter here. It's about the actually the project start with the year 1 and end with 5th year. That is the point. So let's start with a particular format that I've already discussed, that alternative format will be used. That's called the taxable income. So number one, the start with the working, that's contribution. That's about the contribution matter. And for the contribution, we have to work out with the mentioned working one. Yes, come on here. Working one, here you have to mention the workings. Project life is 4 years, but start from year 1, okay? Okay, that's working one. Okay, the contribution matter related to year 2, 3, 4, and 5 is accordingly. That's 4 year. That's 4 year. I hope that screen size is also comfortable, you people. Number one, contribution per unit. Per unit. And here contribution per unit, we work out with the particular unit size. Sell 3,000 units. Contribution $5, 5,000 per unit. Okay, we can work out with the thousands as well rather than millions. It all depends on you, huh? Okay, come on. Contribution, that is 5,000 per unit. That is first year, huh? That is first year. You have to mention with the commas, and moreover, okay, come on. 5,000. That 5,000 is the first year matter. Okay, that is the first year matter. And after that, the point is that 5,000 per unit first year, $5,000 first year in the or production increased by 2% subsequent years. So it's very simple. Is equal to 5,000 multiplied by 1.02, 5,100, control C and control V. 5202 and 52306.04. Then the relevant units here, and how much the units? The units are 3,000 first year of the production. Now work out units in thousand. That's 3. It's not about the accounting, it's simple number. Okay, 3 then is equal to increase by how much? That's 5%, is equal to multiply by 1.05, 3.15 is equal to multiply by 1.05 and control C and control V. These are the units matter. We have to incorporate with the that is 3.47. That is the point. Okay, these are the units matter. These are matters. Now come on. That's about the total contribution. How to calculate total contribution is equal to 5,000 multiplied by 3. That's equals to 15,000. Control C and simple control V. These are the values. Is there any problem till now? Can you please reply me? Can you please reply me? Thank you very much. It's a very simple point. That is first we have done with the contribution. Now the matter of the fixed cost. Come on. Now the matter with the fixed cost. I'm working a little bit fast because it's a very simple point with the 3% inflation. Fixed cost, come on. Where is the fixed cost? How much the fixed cost? Fixed cost 8.7 million. 8.7 million. 8.7 million. First year are expected in the first year production, increase by 3%. that is minus 8,700 is equal to 1.03 multiply 1.03, control C, control V. It's very simple. Then the tax depreciation or capital allowance on a straight line basis. It's a very simple, it's a straight line basis. We have to work out with the working two. Come on, that's a working two. We have to work out only for tax depreciation 20% straight line basis. It's a very simple straight line basis. And it's simple 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes, come on. Straight line basis. How much the value of the investment? Quickly reply me. The tax depreciation. The tax depreciation quickly. How much the value of the investment? It's not a reducing balance. It's very simple. 20% straight line basis. 12 million. No residual value. Is equal to 12 multiplied by 0.2. 12,000 into 0.2. In fact, is equal to 2,400. Control C and control V, no matter it is. But here the balancing figure here. Here the balancing figure. Okay. What is the machine cost? How much the balance amount? It's very simple. If work out here is equal to 12,000 minus some that's equals to 4,800. That is equal to 4,800. It's very simple. Means what I've done here, 4,800 is that's 12,000 minus all these. That's simple 4,800. So is equal to I9, control C, control V. Tax depreciation. Now the matter as taxable income. $8,700. Oh, sorry. These all values are in minus. Is equal to minus control C, control V. That's equals to 3,900 taxable income. Do you remember that? That should be reverse. This will reverse. Do reply me. Are you people with me? Where are you? Are you people sleeping? Hello. That's good. Are you people getting the point? Tax payments. How much the tax payments? Okay. So reply me accordingly. Be interactive. Tax payments. How much the tax payments? How much the tax payments? Here, left side, tax payment 20%. In the air, where profit made, no change. Yes, come on, be energetic, be with me. Is equal to 0.2 multiplied by 3900. But here the value must be signed, or minus. Once again, is equal to minus 0.2 multiplied by 3900, 780. Control C, Control V. Okay. All the tax depreciation must be reversed. Is equal to minus minus plus. That's 2400. Control C, Control V. It's a very simple. Now, what is the matter of the investment? What is the matter of the investment? How much the investment? Can you please reply me? Investment value, investment value. How much the investment value? We reply. Do reply, investment value. If you will not reply, I will not move forward. I will end the session here. How much the value of investment? How much the value of the investment? That's good. That's the answer. 12,000. Okay, that is about the net cash flows is equal to sum from there. Control C, Control V. That is what about the 1200 55206163 Now we have to calculate what is the NPV. Should I calculate the NPV with a shortcut? Yes or no? Can you please reply me? Like we discussed earlier, can we use it? Can we use it? Yes. How to use it? Is equal to NP. Why do we need with the workout accordingly? Maximum you have to mention the discount rate. How much the discount rate? The discount is this 12%. That is 12%. This is what? Now I'm working with the NPV. Now I'm working with the NPV with the shortcut smart method. With the shortcut smart method. Save your time for the calculation. Invest your time with the theoretical aspect and go and move towards the passing aspect. That is the key rule. Now workout is equal to NPV, bracket open 0.12. Take out the net cash flow positive 52506163 6861 8096 8096 plus 12,000. But there is an issue here, very critical issue here, where this NPV formula, it's not applicable. Let's suppose if we are working with the present value, we are working with the present values. Just a moment. We are working with the present value. What is the present value of the hair? Discount rates. The first year, it's not 1. It's equal to 1.12 and the power 1. Sorry, -1. Control C, Control V. Here a very much important thing. A very important thing need to consider here. Listen carefully. Power 2, power 3, power 4, and power 5. The answer will not same. The reason is this. Now, discount rate 12%. Present value is equal to 12,000 multiplied by 0.89. That is not 1. Try to understand, this is not the conventional type value. And we are working with NPV is equal to sum 7027. This shortcut, it's not applicable here. Sir, why? Why the shortcut is not applicable here? Because here it's not the normal case that we are working here 0 to year 5 or here 0 to year 4. Here the project start 1 to 4. Sir, there's a question. How do we know that this shortcut method is applicable or not for NPV? This is not applicable here. It's a very simple answer. Maximum overall in AFM, two times overall, including international investment appraisal, including APV, including this basic NPV. Only 2 times, just 2 times, just twice. Examiner examined this complication. That's moving to investment start 1 year later. But normally that's not happens. That's why this NPV's shortcut method is not applicable. Do reply me, is that clear, all of you? Do reply me, is that clear, all of you? That is the first thing. That's good. Now, part 2. What about the part 2? What about the part 2? Part 2 is that, first of all, have to understand. Calculate the expected NPV of the proposal based on finance director assumption or criticisms about the likelihood of the recession and the potential impact on the project's cash flows. Project's cash flows. Yes, come on. What the chief engineer says, sorry, first finance director says, the finance director, however, raised the following objection. Consequences to the chief engineer presentation. Chief engineer's cost and revenue ignore the possibility of recession, which has 20% probability of occurring. Means here this is saying that upper NPV not includes the expected value matter. But in a recession, the total present value 4 years is likely to 40% lower. So incorporate the recession. Do you remember that you studied in F9 the expected values? Do you remember that? Do you remember that you studied in F9 the expected values? Quick. The expected value. Here the application about the expected value. If I say that, what is the requirement of part A2? Part A2, you will mention that this is what about expected NPV with the consideration of finance directors objection and incorporating the possibility of recession. This is what about the game here. Can you please reply me? Are you clear? Is that clear? You people even didn't reply me that. Do we remember the expected value? Simple. Probabilities incorporating, nothing else. Hello, are you getting my voice? Can you please reply me? Yes, that is what about the expected value matter. First of all, recall expected value. What is the matter of the expected value? How to calculate the expected value? Not related to this question, a very simple point. The probabilities, incorporating the probabilities now. For example, in this question, 20% chances of recession. 20% chances of the recession. Okay. So we have to work out with the calculation with the 20% chances now. With the 20% chances incorporate the recession. But what about the 80%? 80% chances without recession. That's all, nothing else. That is the point. So what is the matter of fact here? What is the matter of fact here? Listen carefully. We are calculating here the NPV. Yes, we are working here the NPV. NPV with the 1000. Okay, how to calculate an NPV? Number one, we have to pick the investment here. Very simple. And then we have to incorporate expected present value of inflows. Expected present value of inflows. And this incorporates 20% chances of inflation and 80% chances of inflation. Do remember one important thing. What do you think that? Is this part comparatively complicated as compared to A or not? Do reply me. Is this part as compared to above complicated? Yes or no? Yes. This is complicated as compared to above. If you feel during the exam is something hard, what to do? The first thing, relax. Number two, sketch. Sketch means what you are thinking that what should be the case. Whatever the mind, after relaxing, whatever your mind says, just incorporate the sketch. This is sketch and attempt whatever you do. Do remember, mark my words, mark my words, mark my words. You people will not become fail if you attempt wrongly with error, the hard aspect of the question. But you will fail if you mess the hard aspect with the easy marks, with the easy aspect of the question. If you fail here, if you are not able to do this easy mark because of messing with the hard part, then you will disqualify. If you attempt in a right manner about this easy marks, and you just attempt the question here, attempt with your own performance, without any fear that is this right or wrong, believe me, you will not become fail. You will not become flunk. This is a key component. So that is the point. This is what about the sketch. Okay, something like this. We have to calculate NPV, but incorporate the aspect of the recession. Now, the very important thing. Answer me. We have to incorporate the we have to incorporate the recession. Sorry, by mistakenly I put the term, use the term inflation. If I incorporate the term recession, so reply me here. If I incorporate this one, at what part of the question I have to incorporate? The complete NPV or only the present value? Only the NPV or only the present, the complete NPV or the present value? Only present value. That's good. So what is the only present value? That is about this one, 17742. So what I will do that the 20% chances that now work out accordingly is equal to 17.742. Sorry. 80% chance the things will happen accordingly. Means without recession. Multiply by 0.8. And that is 141932. But what about this one? This one says that, very important, 20% of the probability that in recession, your cash flows will lower by 40%. The very important thing, this is 17.742. 80% chance this will happen. 80% chance that 17.742 happen. Number one. But 20% chance is equal to that the worst case scenario multiply by 0.6. So I just take, now I'm taking the expected value. Here I'm working the expected value. Here I will take the expected value. Expected value. In 20% that recession impact, 80% no recession impact. Now calculate is equal to multiply by 0.2 is equal to multiply by 0.8. Now is equal to sum this value. $16,632. This is what the expected value incorporating the inflation, and that is called the NPV. Final NPV is equal to sum. Yes, 4332. The investment here, it's not 12,000. In fact, the investment here, the present value of the investment here, this one. Yes, 10.174. So now expected NPV including recession value will be this. Candidates, can you please reply me? Is that clear, all of you? Or should I repeat accordingly? Is that clear? Okay, once again. The very important thing, ignoring this solution, the very important thing you have to consider. Here, finance director says that calculate the expected value. Why expected value? Because there is a chance of recession. Okay. What is the chance of recession? 20% chance of recession. Okay. What is the meaning of 20% chances of recession? Your present value cash flow will be lower. Yes or no? Reply me. Whoever asked the question, reply me. Yes or no? 80% chance present value cash flow, same. So the point is that lower by what amount? Lower by 40%. Lower by 40%. Lower by 40%. So first of all, we have to calculate. Number one, the first very important thing. The 20% chance is 80% chance is exactly the same. Match this. It's exactly the same. Same means this 17,742. 20% chance, that is not exactly same. So what we do is equal to 17,742 multiplied by 40% reduction is equal to 60%. So number one, this is the situation. That if we are moving towards the NPV, that we can earn the present value cash flow 17 or 10. But the chances of 17 is equal to 0.8. And the chances of 10,6,441 into 0.2. So this is what called 100%. This is 100%. And this 100% calculation, its total is equal to sum this one. So this is the present value inflows with recession. This is present value. Now netting present value with investment. The investment here, it's not in year 0, at year 1. That's why we take the investment 12,000 value With the present value factor, that's 10,704. Investment minus expected NPV, that's called expected inflation. Can you please reply me? Now is this clear or not? Even you people are watching the video. If you have any concern, you can ask me accordingly. Ask me accordingly. Now, it's time for part A3. Part A3. Part A3. What is about the part A3? Let's start. Part A3. Part A3. Calculate NPV of the finance director alternatives. There are two communication of the finance director here. Number one, finance director is considering that critic with the engineer's proposal and requirement that incorporate critic. And the another communication about the finance director, here my alternative option, alternative proposal. So here examiner asks that you have to calculate the alternative proposal valuation or the NPV, whether it is pursuing or not. Do remember that this is the another part. This is one. The finance director also believes alternative mutually exclusive development opportunity based on new technology. Although this would still depend it being granted regulatory approval. Number one, the alternative option of finance director will also start year one. This alternative option incur identical investment 12 million, same investment value. So investment same, but what are the returns? The annual inflation adjusted post cash flows 3.43. Over 7-year life from 2 onwards. 2 onwards means 5 years. 5 years. First of all, the very important thing, are you getting the point? What is here? What is here? The requirement about. Whoever just joined the session, we are almost have done all the questions. You can watch the recording later on. Okay. So number one, the very important thing, we have to understand what is the requirement about. Requirement about calculate the NPV. Once again, 1000. NPV of what? Finance director alternative proposal. Finance director alternative proposal. Alternative proposal. Alternative. Where the very first thing is that the very first thing, investment, same value of investment, no change. Sir, why the same value? Because same 12 million, same start at year one, number one, the very first thing. Now, the important thing, present value of investment, but it's year 2 to year 8. This is the matter of concern, year 2 to year 8. And the year 2 to 8, the cash flows are constant. If the cash flows are constant, we can use NVT. Here we use discount rate 12%, delayed annuity. Delayed annuity. Here we are working with the year 1 to year 8. Annuity factor. You can apply the formula, but leave it the formula for the time being. Take out the previous value quickly. Simply, you can put the formula of this annuity. Very simple, is equal to this. But quickly. Number one, 12%. But do remember, the cash flows arise year 2 to 8. But the table or formula start from 1 to 8. So if we take up the value of 1 to 8, that's 4.968. 4.968. But we need to take year 2 to 8. So year 1 discount factor, we need to minus 0.893. So we have to use this factor is equal to sum 4.075. 4.075, sorry. 4.075, number one. This is the discount factor with delayed annuity. Now the future cash flows. How much the future cash flows? Can you please reply me? How much the future cash flows? How much the future cash flows? How much the future cash flows? Annual inflation adjusted post-tax cash flows 3.43. 3.43, 3.43. Hello. Can you please supply me how much the value? So what I should put here? 3.43 or 3430? So here I will mention the present value of inflows with finance director proposal. Yes, come on. Is equal to what? 3430 multiplied by 4.05. And this will be the value NPV. Is equal to sum. That is 3263. That is what about the NPV related to the finance director. Are you realizing that how to handle the question of the AFM? Hello, can you please reply me? Yes, can you please reply me? Can you please reply me, class? That's good. That's very good. So that is what part 1, part 2, part 3, that we have done accordingly. Now it's about the part 4. Now it's about the part 4. Now it's about the part 4. Yes. First of all, need to understand what is about part 4. Do remember that all above three proposal based on consideration if board accept the proposal, board accept the proposal and forward to regulatory authority. The chief engineer has already worked. Okay. The chief engineer has already worked. Okay. The first thing, the chief engineer proposal will continue if even the finance director proposal continue if board accept the proposal. If board don't accept the proposal, whatever the work has done by chief engineer proposal can be sold to external party. Can be sold to external party. Listen this paragraph. Okay. Number 1, the investment case assumes regulatory approval is certain, whereas historically 70% of the application has been approved. Here it means that chief engineer proposal complete aspect, 70% chance that they will approve, but the 30% chance they will sell it. Oh, sorry, they will reject it. They will reject it. Okay. In 1 year time means after 1 year, if regulatory approval is approved, means regulatory approval requires 1 year time. It is assumed that concept can be sold for 1 million. Concept can be sold 1 million after 1 year. So it means that the complete chief engineer proposal under the umbrella, under the risk and uncertainty, 70% yes, 70% yes, 30% no. If no, then it is assumed that if regulatory approval, it is assumed the concept can be sold 1 million. After 1 year sold 1 million. If board rejects, if regulatory approval board rejects immediately, then 4.3 million accordingly. This is the most tricky part of the question. Okay, let's read the requirement. Recommend whether board should proceed. Board should proceed with application of regulatory approval after taking into consideration 70% approval rate with regulatory approval, or sell the concept to the GAPI. Or sell the concept to the GAPI. I have a question. If sell to GAPI, at what date? If sell to GAPI, at what date? Do reply me. If they are agreed to sell the GAPI, okay, after 1 year. And if sell now, what is the value? If sell GAPI after approval, okay. If sell now, what is the value? Very good, 4.3 million. So now, and one last question before attempting. This fourth part is actually with whom point of view? With point of view of what? Board or engineer? This fourth part is actually in which respect we are working here? With respect to the board or only engineer? Yes, with respect to the board. Very good, very brilliant. So first of all, you have to develop a sketch. sketch in your mind. Number one, what he wants to ask. Number one, we have to plan. Board have two options now. Reject and sell now. 4.3 versus means compare, accept, and after accept, the regulator have two options. The regulator have two options. Number one, 30% reject, 70%, 30 reject, 70 reject. So if we want to evaluate the accept, we have to work out with this two regulator and then sum accordingly. This all matter must be sum. And this sum must be, whatever the sum, must be compared with this 4.3. This is what about the sketch. This is what about the sketch. If you first in the examination hall, develop the sketch accordingly. Develop the sketch accordingly. Develop a sketch here. Do remember that. First, you have to develop the sketch. If you have developed the sketch and then work in the main working. Working start with the main aspect. And even your working become wrong. No matter it is. It's not possible to fail. But if you start something in this manner, without any thinking, without any planning, then the point is that you become fail. That's the key point. To answer me two things. Number one, are you getting the point? The sketch about it. What is actual the requirement about? A sketch means understanding the requirement. Then how to attempt it? This is the part. Number one, this is what about? Investment case analysis. Please be with me, reply me. Board reject the proposal versus board accept the proposal. That's all. That is what about the scenario. You people are not replying me. You people are not replying, not encouraging me. I'm continuously motivating you, but you people are discouraging and demotivating me. You are not replying me. This is not the right way. Even you people are watching the video. You have any question, you can ask me on the WhatsApp. Number one, if board reject the proposal and sell the concept now. So what is the value? We are all working at present value. Huh? We are all working at present value. Present value. Now, what is the value? What is the value? That is 4.3. Is this the present value? Reply me yes or no. Is this the present value? Yes or no? Number two, if board accept the proposal and execute towards approval, regulatory approval, whatever, then what to do? There are two possibilities. Number one, 30% chance. 30% chances. The regulator rejects the proposal. If regulator rejects the proposal, then what we will do? 1,000 that we will sell at the 1 million. 1,000 multiplied by what is the discount factor? With the value of 1 million. Discount factor 0.893. 0.893 multiplied by 0.3. Are you getting this point? Hello, can you please apply me what I did? Is equal to 1,000 the value of proposal, but it's after 1 year. 0.893 multiplied by 0.3. That is 267.9. Number one. But 70% chance. But moving towards the 70% chance, I need to ask one thing. If 70% chance means engineer's proposal is acceptable, number one, engineers. But if engineer's proposal are accepted by approval, should we take part one without incorporating recession, or should we take part two with a recession? Which one is the rational approach? Which one is the rational approach? Once again, if board accept the proposal, then we will continue the proposal of the chief engineers. We will move on. So which NPV will be more realistic? With recession, without recession? Very good, excellent. Sir, the rational approach is that be prudent, be rational. Don't take the decision based on the over pessimistic. In fact, take the matter in the realistic with the incorporation of the recession. That's 5608. That's 5608. So 70% chance that the regulator accepts the proposal. And that is what about 5608. And this is already the present value. Is equal to 5608 into 0.7. This is the value. So in a broader perspective, the board consider that the recession, if we consider recession, if we consider approvals from the regulatory authorities, all the aspects if we consider, then The value of the project, it's become 4193 point this one, and here the 4,300. So what do you say? What do you say? Should we should the board project on the financial grounds, based on financial grounds, and ignoring the strategic reasons, based on financial grounds and ignoring strategic reasons. Sir, what do you mean by strategic reasons? We will discuss later. Strategic reasons. The more financial value is to sell the proposal now. That is the point. Sell the proposal now. That is what about the question. Do reply me. You really enjoy that particular question. The way I deliver, that's an interesting point. I think so. What I personally think, if I'm not exaggerating the thing. I hope that you people really enjoyed that particular session with the question matter. If that is the point. Moreover, this is, do remember that you have attempted only 50 to 55% of the question. The rest of the part, it's about theory, remaining part. If we wait a minute. This answer, that is what about the answer. And this is what about the marking schema. That is about the marking scheme. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. SBR past paper, I'm really very sorry. Okay, that's about the Mars 20. Come on. Yes, this is one. Part 1, part 2, part 3. Part 1, you got 6 marks. Part 2, that's 2 marks. Part 3, 3 marks. But part 4, 2 marks, and comments includes 4 marks. Here comments remains. And then 8 marks. 8 plus 4, that's equals to 12 marks total. Total 12 marks. Total 12 marks. So the first very important thing you have to consider, if you are moving towards a comments 4 marks, the very first thing, whenever you are doing the writing, you have to plan first. This is the most important point. Before planning, don't attack the theoretical aspect. Sir, what is the meaning of plan? Planning means 2 things. Number 1, consider the marks. 4 marks means you have to consider number one, the first thing, time management. Time management means 4 multiplied by 1.8. What is the answer? What is the answer? 4 multiplied by 1.8. Is equal to 4 multiplied by 1.8. You have 7.2 minutes. 7.2 minutes. Number one. Number two, marks management. The first thing is that don't spend the time more than 7.2 minutes. Spend 2 minutes for planning and 5 minutes for writing, execution. If you don't plan the thing first, if you don't plan first 2 minutes what to write, your complete answer, it's not up to the mark. Do remember, we are not here just providing the conventional way of delivery. We are here actually to consider the things about what is the right path towards the exam success. I've been taking the P2P sessions of the ACCA since last 3 semesters, alhamdulillah, and they always said that practice in a manner where the students are able to qualify the exam, and that is not the rote learning. Before starting the theory, number one, you have to consider time management. Number two, marks management. Marks management means for 4 marks, 3 well-explained points. 3 well-explained points. And before attacking, you have to work out what the points I have to mention. You have to develop in your mind what to write. In your mind what to write. Or you can work out in the rough manner. For example, if you, whenever you are working for comments, always remember that. Mark this rule. Whenever you are working for comments, first, the very first, interpret your maths. Means interpret whatever you have done. For example, examiner asking for part A4. So whatever you have done part A4, just write it interpretation. You can easily get 1 or 1.5 marks. Interpretation of simple maths. And maths about here. Board, simple, board, decision, accept or reject. Just write it down. More, you have to work out. You have to comment that incorporating the expected values. And finally, the final comments. The final comments I have mentioned here, the diplomacy. What is the meaning of diplomacy? We will discuss later on, but initially, your answer must not conclude with that particular statement, accept the decision or reject the decision. No. If you are working that accept or reject, always add more statements. Although the project is not financially viable to and now right to sell out, but we have to consider more aspects. For example, the strategic reasons. What are the particular strategic reasons? We have to consider non-financial factors. Don't mention a straight answer yes or no. Always mention the answer with the neutrality or with diplomacy. This is what the professional life aspect. But we will more consider this thing later on. So This A part of the question, that's a comprehensive view, how to handle the calculation, how to handle the theory. I'm not discussing right now the B part. You have to attempt by your own and then check the answer accordingly. We will discuss later with this exclusively the theoretical part. From my side, I have done my lecture for the A part of the question, and I hope that you people are getting the point how to practice the thing with the CBE, with the exam aspect, all these things. If you people consider that, yes, I will discuss the theoretical part, but the next session, not now. If you people consider that this session is valuable for you, I particular mention you that you have to make a constructive reply on the WhatsApp group, the facilitation group, or the classroom. Number one. Number two, you have to focus the roadmap I have shared with you for the preparation matter and obey the targets. This message is about the students who have already registered. Thank you very much from my side. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.